Now, coming into this season, I think every Sorare scout and manager around the world who'd been playing this game for longer than a season already had their own designs, had their own plans, their own strategy on how they were going to get into in-season and how they were going to actually yield and win money from their classic cards, as well as how they're going to dabble in the new world of Sorare, playing with in-season cards and classic cards and all the rest of it. And if you guys have been keeping up to speed with the content here on the channel, my strategy and my plan has been pretty clear from the onset. Sadly, for the initial couple of months of the season, it's not really been that exciting to watch, because I've been waiting for prices to come down. I've been looking for that, not quite price discovery, but that competition, that competitive element discovery in the new SO5 arena. How do divisions work? How do the regions work? What quality of player do you really need? What sort of variety of player do you really need? How important is collection bonus, and really what difference will XP make? And so far, we're at point of recording halfway through January. The thick end of the season has passed us, but now we're getting to the business end of the season, where titles are won, where glory is attained. And now I feel like I've got myself into a really strong situation. We've had a lot of great content on. I think it's been good anyway. Hopefully you have been enjoying it, smashing the like button and all that good stuff. And on the contender side of things, with the Celtic cards and even some of the transfers that I've been managing to dabble into in this current transfer market that we're in, the current mercato, as we call it in the world of football. But the main competition, the main place where all the prize pools are, where the big cash pots are, is in Champ, is in Prem, is in La Liga, the biggest leagues in world and European football. And that has been an area where I've slowly been building into some in-season cards, with the Sociedad collection to kind of dovetail with last season's Sociedad collection, so I've got that squad at my disposal. And recently, over the last month, I've ended up buying some Valencia players, like super cheap, because they're pretty crap right now. And I won an Enzo Baranachea, so it just felt like an easy in on that one. But if you guys caught Go Fuck Friday night last week, you'll see I won my first star rare of the season. I think it's the first star rare I've won over the last 2 seasons, actually, to be quite frank with you. Like, bona fide star. I think I've got into the star tier a few times, but it was when they would pay out like 7 stars, and I was maybe getting the 6th or 7th one, and you end up with like an overinflated tier 1 or a goalkeeper or something like that. So firstly, proper bona fide star that I've won this season, and it's none other than Legacy Mode, as we've been calling him on this channel, Mohamed Salah. In the video today, I'm going to be looking at exactly what this means for my in-season champion strategy, because it is pretty much on track. A big part of my strategy coming into the season was to try and win really high value in-season cards. But at the beginning of the season, with Champ in particular, because I didn't fancy myself to be able to get a cohort, an in-season squad together that would be strong enough to really compete and win cash all the time, my objective at the beginning of the season was to win in-season Champ cards to sell, and the better the players are, the higher they're worth, and brilliant, the more the strategy plays in. But now that Salah is in the building, I've already won an in-season Champ goalkeeper, and across the Valencia, the Sociedad, and then there's like 2 or 3 other players just kind of floating around. I'm looking at it thinking maybe Mohamed Salah is a utility card for me. Maybe Mohamed Salah really does paint into the strategy I laid out at the beginning of the year, to not go overboard on in-season Champ cards especially, but Celtic's included in that, in an effort to organically build an in-season team from my classic guys to then go and attack in season. So in the video today, we're going to be weighing up, is this just a milestone on the season that we should count as just success? Keep the Salah in and see, what kind of teams we can build around him. Can he go out and yield his value back, in essence, over the course of this year? Or is this a card that I should be trading, selling, doing something a bit more dynamic or proactive with? As always, guys, I look forward to seeing your thoughts and feelings in the comment section down below on this one at any point in the video. But if you do laugh, you learn, you like something or whatever, please do like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. We just broke through 10,000 subscribers before we turned into the new year, and this year I don't even know what our goals are, but it is to climb the mountain. It is to be the biggest Sorare channel. I think the Penfez is on about 12,000, so I suppose that's probably our next target, is to go and be the #1 sub count Sorare channel that we've got out there. So we can't do that without your support, guys. If you do enjoy the content, like, subscribe, share, retweet, all of that good stuff. And yeah, let's just get stuck straight into it. Now, on this page here, you'll be able to see all of the in-season cards that I've actually won this year. Now, there is a bit of a flavour that goes around them in terms of different regions and different tiers. Winning cards this year has been way harder than any year. And I mean, actually winning a card. Also, we can craft cards for fun, of course. And subsequently, if you do get into the card prize place pots, you're more than likely getting a lower tier than maybe what you're used to. So there's a little bit of that gets flavoured across here. But overall, we've actually finished in the cards a decent amount of times over the season. A few supers, a fair few rares, some of them good, some of them meh, some of them pretty rubbish. But for the most part, this is a kind of standard of like card wins in terms of the quality that, you know, most of us could reasonably expect when you get free lineups out. You pick the wrong captain once in a while, a goalkeeper screws you over once in a while, that sort of thing. And, you know, really this did paint into like buy and sell the guys, you know, and I managed to do that with the Araujo. A bunch of these other guys have been sold. If we flick the little tab so we can see who's been kept, we've got Cammy Devlin, Trusty, we've got the super rares, we've got Gross, we've got Wanizek and Kyle Laren, and that's basically it. Everyone else has essentially been chucked out the door for trade or for Brandon Austin. I wish I kept that. Would have got one game out of it. Maybe I shouldn't have kept it. Sort of thing. So I think this, you know, it did feel like, yeah, I'm on the right track here. Keep buying some classics and make all my teams as strong as possible and try and up the ante. Try and get some more essence in. Try and win some more in-season cards. And then can we start to get cards that can be sold, or can we start to get some cards that can actually enhance us? And for the most part, like, I would have liked to have done something like a Salah maybe a bit earlier in the season. It might have gave me a few more actual options on what to do with it. But really, for all intents and purposes, like, we're really bang on track. Only half the season is went. And one of the things I often think about when I'm looking at the gallery, or I'm looking at anyone's gallery, is a little bit of like, you know, like we want to win every week. We think about our full season's worth of projections and all that kind of thing, right? But really, in the grand scheme of things, how many times do you reasonably expect to win over the season? And for me, like, my normal aim is something around the... And, you know, it's different now with divisions, but generally I'm always looking to get like 3 big wins a season. 3 or 4 big wins a season feels like what I could be capable of with the gallery I have at my disposal. And now with the way things have been kind of split around the SO5 arena, you now need to kind of flavour that into the different competitions, different scarcities, and, you know, other bits and bobs. So it's a wee bit muddier than usual, you know, in terms of how many like big wins or podiums you can realistically kind of aim for here. But I think, like, all things being equal, like if I was to look at the gallery we've got here in Champ, you know, the goalkeeper quality is a bit meh, isn't it? And let's just filter this by best to worst. Defence isn't terribly amazing either. Lots of handy enough players, and I've got a lot of variety here to be able to swing between, you know, fixtures and form, fitness, all the 3 Fs of Sorare, as we call it on this channel for the most part. And I think, like, if this, also is my gallery, but if it's somebody else's, I think this is, like, kind of quite bang on track. You know, the classic contingent is strong. Like, it is strong. I maybe need to get a bit better at picking my best team and really just trying to make sure, like, number 1 team can be Salah capable, you know, can actually get in amongst it, rather than trying to just have that even spread of strength across all of the entries I've got, because that's not really worked out too well. Champ is a much more of a... I don't know if it is much more of a dog-eat-dog situation in the other regions, but top row of forwards feels really good. And I actually feel like my forwards are... Well, basically, it's just that top row, isn't it? And then the rest of them are a bit meh, aren't they? You know, some other guys are fine, but they're not great. So, with that being said, like, halfway through the season, like, not much has went by me. Not much has actually been missed. And this Salah might have actually just came in at quite the perfect time. What's maybe better is jumping on lineup builder here. Now, there's a flip side to this, what we'll talk about in a second, but I've not won a card the quality of Salah ever. I don't think. Like, I've won stars, but like when I've won stars, it's been like Wirtz when he was 17. It's been like Joe David at Lille. It's been goalkeepers and stuff like that, you know. But whenever I've got into the star pool, I've never pulled the guy with the L40, never mind L5s and stuff, but the L40 that is top of the pile. Season 2 of MFL is underway, and we are almost at the mid-season transfer window. So many of you guys in the community have been plugging in and enjoying the game, which is basically a football manager network situation where every team you come up against is another manager that's running the team, picking the tactics, trading with the players, you know, assembling their squad to go on the road to glory. And it's a very competitive game. It's a lot of fun. If you've ever played Football Manager, it gives you big member berries. If you're interested in playing MFL and picking it up ahead of Season 3, or maybe getting involved in some of the action they do for any latecomers that open up as Season 2 knocks on, then there's a link in the description in this video that will get you all the beginner free bonus stuff that you would need and want to open up your account and get started today. Make sure to check out the content I've got on the channel, which shows you how to open up the account and get started, as well as some key beginner mistakes that I made that you should definitely avoid. By clicking on that link, you support me and all the content here at the channel. So if you are going to play this game, please click on the link that's in my videos, please. It does make a big difference to me. And if you do get stuck, if you've got any questions, jump into the comment section and I'll come and sort you out, of course. And I look forward to seeing when you've made your club, you name it what you want, you pick your badge, and then you can go out and you can challenge any team that you want to friendlies to kind of test your strength of your squad as you're developing. And so many of you guys take on FC Barcelona in your friendly matches. Always love to see the random managers that pop up in the game, and I've went toe to toe with my squad, so I look forward to seeing these out there, guys. It's quite an exciting card for me to have and to own. Or maybe we could look at this on Sorare, and I am quite eager to try and get some great utility out of it. Now, where the utility is going to come from is from Champ in season or Prem in season. Now, I don't actually have any other Prem in season cards, and maybe for some of you that would throw up the, oh crap, I need some more Prem in season. If anything, I would rather he was a La Liga card, which maybe will bring us to one of the forks in the road I'm coming to here. But I think for Champ, like, as a base squad, now I watched Sociedad last night. Sergio Gomez is just an absolute non-player right now, isn't he? But Champ, for the lower divisions, I'm not in Division 1 in season. I've got a D2, a D3 and a D4. So with this, I can very much like try and pick my battles a little bit and try and aim for maybe a division with a good head count in it, as well as trying to maximise like my potential to actually strike it big and get on at a podium. So I don't really mind the regional issue that comes around this. Like, I don't mind playing Salah in Champ, because I do think if we do edit my team, let's have a look at this again, and we click on Bruno, we'll filter into in season only, and like Sucic could play for Gomez or whatever, Pepelu. None of these guys are overly fantastic, but they're all pretty okay, so it's quite a fixture sensitive strategy that I've got here. But with somebody like Salah as captain potential, like, it just means that if I have fixtures for Sociedad, for Valencia, for maybe one or two of the other random cards that are here, then like Salah is a difference maker. Salah is a winner. Like, he can elevate this whole lineup quite easily, quite quickly. One thing that I would like to see on Sorare data when we go through history and stuff like that would be like our in-season Champ kind of history, or in-season any division kind of history. If we go back to no, we'd probably need to go back to December, wouldn't we? So let's have a look at this game week here, 33, and hidden lineups. Let's look for Champ Classic, Champ in-season, Contender, Champ Classic, under 23. Let's add that back in just in case we have some players there. And then let's get rid of Contender. Let's leave the anti-stacks there in case there's a card we're interested in. Contender, La Liga, 260 we'll leave. Champ, La Liga, Challenger. And then let's see who's hidden. If we missed something that we would want to look at. No, I think we've done it. Excellent. So, anti-stack, yeah, is a very Champ-centric team, isn't it? I kind of thought that would be worthwhile keeping on page. Danny Olmo, let's see what happens. But yeah, like you can see, there's just a bunch of, like this team here. This is kind of the thing I was after. Like, imagine we had Salah in here rather than Mikhail Afai. That would have been probably, let's just say, an extra 60 points potentially. Yeah, so like it can sniff the top realms. That's what Gaia. Imagine Gaia's score was on the goalkeeper, so that's maybe more likely. Midfielder, goal scoring striker, wrong captain. So what division is this? Is this Division 4? So yeah, Division 4 and Division 3 we're probably competitive enough in. La Liga in season, we can't play them in, of course. Let's go back to the weekend before this and do something similar. Are the teams kind of scoring enough points? Are they getting close enough, but they need that push? They need that captain capable guy to kind of make the difference. 220 we'll put in just in case there's something in there. Super, contender, super. And let's have a wee peek at this again. Contender, super. And then yeah, we'll keep those ones on screen. So again, like, we are getting good scores across all of our players. It's just a case of, like, getting the good ones together, obviously. The top team will. Oh, I can play D1 Classic with some good strength, I think, and we've got some nice options open to us in some of the league-specific comps now, which is fun. But yeah, like this is the thing with these guys, is they can all just be sandbags, just yellows if they've got the wrong game. And that's something that I'm trying, and again, Lasseneur can just be an absolute handicap of a goalkeeper rather than an enhancement. But there is a lot of good players, a lot of good classics, but the problem is we only get one classic spot. So for this midweek, I'm actually planning on listing the Salah in this team. I might drop Gomez because I was wildly unimpressed with him in that left wing position. Oh, this is for the weekend, this team, isn't it? So we'll check predicted lineups later on Predictify. Let's have a wee early peek at the newspapers. Sucic was fine. His AA is pretty reliable as well. Doesn't feel like it's going to change much into the... Aaron Baru is injured, is now suspended actually. So Aaron Baru won't be playing. He's yellow card suspended after last night. So we'll be looking at a Valencia player to come into defence. Or Michaela Fai, who I think was minced in the last game, wasn't he? Gaia unlikely. So I think we could play Gaia. Michaela Faye against Brestois. I'm open to him. But we could go Gaia. Sergio. Who are Valencia playing? Oh, they're playing Sociedad. Oh, great. That's not going to be good. I suppose Sociedad don't score many goals, so it might not be that bad, really. But that's kind of the problem I've got here with the standard of the other in-season cards. Like, I think Salah can lift them. But how often can he lift them? How high can he lift them? Do they actually hold them back? And yeah, this kind of in-season... it doesn't even need to be, actually, because we could just put classic Bruno into the mid spot. Or worse, we could play anyone, couldn't we? I fancied Bruno because the L5's so good. Bournemouth have got injuries up front. I don't expect them to be scoring goals. So I kind of went for that there. But then we could just put him in mid and then see, like, is there another forward we could add in? Do maybe just play the Gomez? Or Lopez, maybe? So yeah, there's no clear options, is there? So I'm kind of twisting on this one. Now the Salah, like as I say, can elevate the team, can make the team, but it's over the course of the rest of this season. Like Division 4 and 3, if we imagine we play low stakes, we play low divisions, like we're talking about getting 10 30th place finishes between now and the end of the season to get Salah's current market value into the wallet. And you would need to get one or two games that really spike out. And hey, if we did win, then it's we're having our cake and eating it. It's not out of the equation. Maybe it does open the case up a little bit for strengthening this, but I'm also rather excited, and this might be where we look at Sorare Data Lineup Builder, because not this midweek, but next midweek is Champions League. Yeah, Lille at home. Because what I was thinking is, like, when I've been playing Celtic in season in the Champions League, I've been missing a striker, So if we have Schmeichel at home at Young Boys, that's brilliant. We can play Vickers, he'll be nailed. We can play Johnson, he'll be nailed. The Celtic defence will be quite nailed for this. I don't think there's any question about that. In midfield, again, we've got great choices in the likes of Engels and Hatate and whatever. We can bring a classic into the equation at this stage as well. But let's just go with Engels because he's on the pens, he's on the set pieces. We could take Salah as a forward. And like, look at this, by the way. Like, this could do really well. But I'm not sure we have an in-season champ competition for the coming game week where Celtic are playing against Young Boys. But the game week where we play against Villa, we do. And I just don't know how good that will be necessarily SO5-wise. And I've not got any other champ in-season cards, really. Or Champions League, I should say, in this breath. Oh, Lager BLK is playing Malmo. That could be good for him. So I'm also thinking about that. We also have midweek in the seasons we can play around with. And we only really need to hit big once. Now, the problem I've got with Salah as well actually in preparation for this video before, we're doing a live recording with the members. But before coming on with this, I actually thought, this is an in-season comp. This could be good. We need 4 in-seasons, no 2 from the same club. We don't have any in-season keepers playing. So we'd be looking at like we could even play against QP, we could even play a Hazard, we could play Oblak against Leganés. Killison's playing Real Madrid, that's going to be a hard one. Not Saint Etienne. Let's just take Jan de Man for example purposes. So we need 4 in seasons. We've got Welshie playing Genk. We've got Elias Baum, big Welshie. Oh, guys, we're doing this. What is the other requirements? Welsh's L15 is 90 frickin' 1. We could do something like this, but then, yeah, we can't play Welsh. So we probably want to take Bomb. We could take Fi. Fi could be our L15 under 45. Oh, we've got Shaqiri. Can't quite squeeze him in, but I've not got a goalkeeper for contender before any of you say that. So there is a few options actually open. This game week, actually, I might just... This will be the strategy, I think, where we put Salah in the specialist. And we kind of swing at it here. So we have our one below 45 and Michaela Faye. Is it a better below 45? This might update as well at the deadline, so I might need to revisit this slightly. But I think if Michaela Faye is going to start, he's probably the pick, isn't he? And a few of these L15s could come down ever so slightly, like a Pepelu, but again, their game isn't great. Maybe Stephen Welsh's L15 gets normalised and we can use that a bit. But yeah, we couldn't quite use all of that, could we? Yeah, too powerful. That would be amazing, but... and yeah, we need them under 60, don't we? So we're probably looking at Bomb, we're looking at Sucic, Hornby, Lagerbielka against Breda. That could be good. But yeah, I think this might be the strategy we run with immediately with the Salah as we go with this in-season specialist. I don't think there is a captain bonus, so a player like him could make a big difference. And this is just like in-season champ, isn't it? But I can play my other cards. So I think in this particular weekend, that'll be the move for me and Salah. We're probably going to do that and prioritise it. But the flip side to this, guys, is, like I said when I won him, I said to the members at the very least anyway, is I'm getting mad Benzema vibes. If you remember Benzema in that Ballon d'Or form, it was his last season at Real Madrid. He then went to Al Ittihad. And, you know, Salah's going to half in price, essentially, going from in-season to classic, even if he stays at Liverpool. So I'm kind of under this pressure at the moment. I'm putting myself under where it's like, if I commit to yielding with Salah, he needs to yield. The Neon Special isn't there yet. I don't have any Neons for that. And it's limited only, I think, isn't it? So I won't be able to attack that, Rico, man. I'll put the chat box on screen now, because we do have the members live and loud with us on the recording. But I'm in really two minds with what to do with this. You know, ideally, if I could have any of these Salahs in season utility to a side, I'd have this Salah, because I've got a Ben Doak little collection, and I never thought about adding Salah. So I like the hair as well, to be honest with you. It feels more Salah than the skinhead picture, doesn't it? And you know, the alternative I'd kind of looked at with this was Rafinha, because very similar prices, a wee bit cheaper than Salah, which, you know, for a trade is a very good way to go with it. But he's La Liga, you know, and I can just play him with the Valencia and the Sociedad guys a bit easier. The La Liga competition will probably be a bit more sheltered versus the champ one, where I'll need to play the Salah. And it feels like this might be the way to go. But it's a tough one. I'm really struggling with it. So I'm definitely going to be hanging fire, I think, for at least the announcement that happens today. And I'm also pretty keen on using them this midweek and at the weekend. Now, this midweek is away to Nottingham Forest. It's not the best matches, let's say, but it makes a team look really attractive for me, if I can find where I've put them. Yeah, it makes this team look really good, the champ team. And in this division, at the top of it, there's a tier 1. Do we have a D1 Classic, actually? Is that maybe a move I should try? No, we'll get relegated from D1, so we need to get back into that. So promotion and a high tier card would be a good start, and then we could roll the Salah into the weekend game week and try and get some cash money out of him and buy a few for La Liga. Yeah, Rico, man, I'm in two minds. I certainly think I'll be using them for the next 2 game weeks, and I'm really just fucking praying that there's no negative developments in that time. The other thing when I think about negative developments is don't wait for them to happen, because once they happen, you're screwed, you know. Charlie Dunbar and Rico, man, in here, they're definitely drinking the same tea I've been drinking this morning, and it's like Charlie's saying here, if you got 650 into the gallery, would I have bought Salah? No, I'd have bought Schmeichel and withdrawn the rest. But again, when I think about that, I really cannot stomach buying any more goalkeepers, and Schmeichel's in seasons, like, rares are not available. You know, they're all being used this weekend. They'll all be used this midweek, no doubt, as well. and getting one's going to be really hard and expensive, and he's only going to play for this season and next season, which is fine enough for a Celtic keeper, I suppose, with the yield potential that'll come from him. Trade for some cash and get his classic. Yeah, exactly. If I really was married to the Salah thing, yeah, and he's at a peak, Ian. I quite agree with you on all of this. So what I always like to do with these cards is have my cake and eat it as much as I possibly can. So if I could get a good midweek out of him and a good weekend and then get Rafinha in or sell him and buy a Schmeichel and pocket the change, I think that would be the perfect storm that I could lead myself into. But with negative news potentially just around the corner, it feels like the clock's against me. Positive news could come, and then it just means like time is on my side. I can still do all this stuff we're talking about, but there doesn't need to be a rush for it. And before coming on to do the live recording, I was in a wee bit of a rush. I was thinking, just go to Pug, because Pug's got that Rafinha I just showed you on screen, and just do the trade. Just get him in. Forget the difference. Just do a straight trade. Let him keep the difference. Let him go and sell it. Legitimately, whenever I love cards that I've won. So I actually if Salah's to stay, I'd quite happily keep him, you know, rather than get the La Liga guy or get the Schmeichel. I'd love to have a guy like Salah I've won in my gallery. He's 32 on the card. If he signs an extension at Liverpool, I would love to just keep him for that. That would do me no problem at all, because I've won him. If money came into my wallet, I would not buy him. But a guy like that is a win. Like, I value that a lot. You know, look at that Hall of Fame, guys. It's absolutely cooking right now. Sané and Openda are kind of jostling for position to get in there. But I do really value that. And like I said at the beginning of the recording, like, I've not won a guy like this ever. Like this. Wan-Bissaka maybe a little bit like that, but he's Wan-Bissaka. He's not Mo Salah. He's not Mbappe. He's not Bellingham. You know, it feels like a coin flip whether he stays or goes. Where's the exit? And yeah, coin flips are not... I don't like gambling 50-50 situations like this on £600. Because if he does go to Saudi, he doesn't half in value. His value goes, you know. So, it's a tough one. It's a tight one. I'm not too sure how it was going to shake out. And I wanted to talk to you guys about my thoughts, my feelings with it as well. Because like I mentioned, I had a strategy that really this Salah is the coup de grace of. You know, I should be selling this Salah if I stuck to my principles at the beginning of the season. And if you look at like my incomings, like, yes, I did a wee bit of gallery work in July. Marino, Braze, Trippier, I don't have anymore because the Saudi rumours came for him. Yeah, the Sociedad fill out that I did really on the transfer news. And then, yeah, like supers and stuff like that getting traded out and some other stuff getting brought in. What a horrible trade that was, by the way. Pavel always wins, doesn't he? I can't believe that. But hey ho, that is what it is. But yeah, we spent 17 quid on a Pepe. We spent 80 quid on Soboslai, 20 quid on Aaron Barrow. So, like, how much have we spent here over the season on champ cards? Like, we're maybe around the 200 mark, pushing up to 400. I could probably break even on my champ expenses in season and classic and have some profit, you know, by selling them right now. We could go through all these numbers and add them up, but I don't think that's essential. You can pause it if you really want to meticulously work out what I've spent on champ cards this year. But I think it would more than pay for itself if I got about £600 for them. It would be like all the champ guys I've brought in this year paid for, you know, in season classics and everything. And then the change could probably help me fill out the shopping list that I've still got, a few outstanding buys. So it feels like I've nailed the strategy in that sense of like classic cards, or even... It was the Celtic cards at Won Salah, so it's a little bit of that old Sorare vibes. And it feels like, you know, follow through would be just to sell him. But equally, the opportunity is in front of us. Like, if his value was like £1,000 or, you know, a bit closer to what it was like a few months ago, like 700-800 quid, it makes it a bit easier just to sell him off. But with him being £600 to £500 and that kind of needle kind of coming down game by game, as it were, 2 decent wins. And we can keep him as long as he doesn't go to Saudi, because then it just feels like counterproductive, doesn't it? So I'm really going to be tuning this one over the next week or two, the next day. Every Salah post I'm seeing puts the fear into me more and more. And then all you guys keep telling me it's just all baloney. And some of you guys are Liverpool fans where you've really got your finger on the pulse with this. You've really got your ear to the ground. And, you know, I value those opinions very, very highly, because I've not been that close to Liverpool, like mechanically in that sense this year. So, you know, and Salah is Hall of Fame level. Some of you guys were telling me he's going for records and all the rest of it. So hopefully we get a positive resolution and it just buys me all the time that I want to use him a little bit and then take it from there, you know. So very much up in the air with that one, but the strategy is on track, you know. Like the contender stuff is doing well enough, like we've spoke about relentlessly, but and again, I know this was from like an all-star kind of situation, winning the Salah, of course, but it feels like the champ strategy is kind of vindicated in that sense, you know, because we have also been crafting cards and stuff like that. Sadly, we're waiting for Sorare to do a further update to this. They said they would do it, but probably the next time they revamp it, where you'll be able to see like your history, where you can like click into it and you'll see all the cards that you've crafted and where they are. It doesn't really feel like there's a bad move to be made as long as Salah doesn't go to Saudi, but that's also a big part of the jeopardy with this card, is like maybe he does, you know. So I'm very much in two minds. If I didn't really want to play him this midweek, I probably would just try and get the Rafinha done now. What is it we have here? Specialist, I'm going in all Celtic. And then champ, get promoted back to D1. Maybe win a tier 1 while we're at it. But yeah, so we're bang on track with the strategy, which is a great thing, but we're at a real crossroads, a real kind of, you know, like what to do next kind of thing. Like even if we ditch Salah before the deadline, if we were super cautious, Sané's not on to start, but at least he's going to play, you know. Is there another champ forward we could cycle in here? Openda, we could bring him in from that team, put him in there, and then like this team could be taken up by somebody else quite easily. So we do have options. We don't need Salah for this game week, but and I guess from here now it's a little bit about not necessarily adjusting the targets and moving the goalposts for what we term as the success, or what a successful strategy looks like for me and champ at the moment, but it definitely does feel like a time for reflection and looking at, like, you know, what we've won to this season, this point in the season so far, and really between now and the end of the season, what could we win, what should we win, what should we be trying to build our gallery around even more so, because I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to be in this exact same position, whether it be winning a star card like this, or maybe you guys are really hungry in the transfer market and you're buying these guys in who are moving from one region to another and they're going to be changing their situation greatly, and it's like, okay, how do I get the most out of this? Or is it, you know, especially with some of these transfer guys, you maybe just sell the news, you know, sell the guy when he's on a bit of a high before it takes him a month to get into the team and his price kind of naturalizes or whatever. Similarly to me and Salah, and watching out for a bit of this news, as well as trying to, you know, have my cake and eat it, get some of that utility, and then maybe do something a bit more, you know, painting by numbers that will work for the gallery overall. Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section of this video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this one. On screen there now some other stuff that I've made that YouTube thinks you might enjoy. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more content like this. Stay out of trouble, and I will catch you on the next one.